So one, and I will call the meeting to order. If you will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to pray for the families of those affected by the tragic shooting in Texas. The psalm that I read this morning says, "The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof." He must be sad to see what's happening to people and places that he loves and made. Would you pray with me, please? Lord, we thank you because we know you love us. Lord, help us to love one another. And when we are faced with tragedy and pain and hurt, we can only look to you and to each other to provide comfort and peace and strength. I'm asking, Lord, for families who may be just beside themselves with grief and hurt in this very moment to be strengthened by your hand. And may people come to their aid to provide comfort and peace. And Lord, would you strengthen us with wisdom and guidance? Thank you for this wonderful city that we live in. We pray your protection over us, and we pray for our leaders and those who serve and the wonderful citizens who care for each other. Bless them. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael, if you'll take the roll call, please.
Councilman Marcos.
Here.
Councilman Blevins.
Here.
Councilman Schlack.
Present.
Councilman Valerius.
Here.
Councilman Lloyd.
Here.
Pro Tem Lally.
Here.
And Mayor McLeod.
Here.
We have a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Schlack,
Support.
supported by Mr. Marcos. Any corrections or changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of May 10th? Motion by Mr. Lally,
Second.
second by Mr. Valerius. Any corrections or changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now we get on to organizational business, and this evening, we'll start the meeting with a proclamation designating June as Pride Month. We started this last year, and we are, again, fortunate to have members of the Allen Park Prison Club here with us, and they will come up and speak after the proclamation. Proclamation for LGBTQ Pride Month, June 2022. Whereas the City of Allen Park supports the rights and dignity of each person and appreciates the importance of equality and freedom. And whereas the nation was founded upon and is guided by a set of principles which includes that every person has been created equal, that each has rights to their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and that each shall be accorded the full recognition and protection of law. And whereas the City of Allen Park's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ community are a vital part of all fields and professions and contribute to a stronger community. And whereas 53 years ago on June 28, 1969, at the Stonewall Inn in New York City, a courageous group of citizens rose up against harassment and mistreatment, setting in motion a chain of events that would become known as the Stonewall Riots and the birth of the modern LGBTQ civil rights movement. And whereas while we as a society at large are slowly embracing new definitions of sexuality and gender, we must also acknowledge that the need for education and awareness remains vital in order to end discrimination and prejudice. Now, therefore, I, Gail B. McLeod, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Allen Park, Michigan, do hereby proclaim June 2022 as Pride Month in the City of Allen Park, and encourage our residents to reflect on the ongoing struggle for equality that members of the LGBTQ community face and celebrate the contributions that enhance our city. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Allen Park, Michigan to be affixed this 24th day of May 2022. Someone would like to come up from your organization, please?
Thank you for having us tonight. We're excited to present what Pride means to each of us. Although we all have our individual reasons, as a whole, we adore the support and recognition that we're giving during June. 1 year ago, Pride Month was recognized by the City Council for the first time in Allen Park history. This proclamation has helped the LGBTQ+ community in Allen Park prosper under this endless support. We're so proud of how far our club has come since last year. We've held a bake sale to fundraise, had new members from the middle school, and created a more unified environment in the community. We'd also like to thank Mrs. McMaster. Without her, all of our progress would have been nearly impossible. Thank you for everything. In addition, we're wearing these cords tonight to show our participation in Prism Club and are wearing them to our graduation. We're extremely grateful for the opportunities that have been given to us. And to go ahead, this is what Pride means to us.
Hello, my name is Billy Katerier. I use he, him pronouns, and I identify as gay. Pride is very important to me because it's a time of celebration to be proud of who I am. I would say Pride is an all day, every day kind of thing for me because I just love myself and I just love to be proud of who I am. But having a month of recognition of being who I am is just truly amazing. And it's such an honor of the LGBTQ+ community and a member of the Allen Park community to be here and represent for Pride Month. Thank you so much.
My name is Saturn Kovac. I use they, them pronouns. I identify as aromantic. Pride Month for me is a time to remember our past struggles and remember those who gave their lives to fight for us, but also remember the current triumphs, our friends, our family, those who support us in the moment, as well as our past. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Natalie Nerona. I use she, her pronouns, and I identify as an ally to the LGBTQ community. And as an ally, I'm a straight person who proudly supports my family, friends, and peers that identify in that community. Although Pride has many different meanings, to me, Pride is a constant flow of joy I feel from my friends and peers. I'm incredibly proud of them for their bravery and their constant love that reaches out to our whole community. As an ally, I am extremely grateful to be included in the community and will continue to be proud and support my peers, friends, and family. Thank you.
My name is Maggie Shear. I identify myself as queer and I use she, they pronouns. Pride means feeling accepted. Within Allen Park, I feel more comfortable expressing my sexuality. I don't feel a need to hide away because I know most people will support me. I know I have the support of City Council, which creates a feeling of confidence and trust. I feel like a true member of this community despite my differences.
In closing, Pride means something different to everyone, but overall it's about creating an atmosphere of acceptance, inclusivity, and equity. Thank you so much for having us, and thank you so much. It's just such an honor to be here. Thank you.
When I tell you that last year I was very impressed by all of us. And I'm glad to see several of you coming back again this year. And
Thank you so much. Thank you.
oh, wait.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll move on to a few appointments. I've got some vacancies. First appointment is the appointment of Jessica Tremonti to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to fill an unexpired term. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lally,
Second.
second by Mr. Lloyd. Any questions? Is Ms. Tremonti here? Would you please come up? Also, this evening, I'm appointing Daniel Andre Tirado to the Downtown Development Authority to fill an unexpired term. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Blevins. Second. Yeah,
We gotta go back and vote on the
that's
first
right,
one.
sorry. I just remembered as soon as I asked for a motion. May I have a vote on Ms. Tremonti? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Wanted to bring them both up to be sworn in. So a motion has been made for Mr. Tirado by Mr. Blevins, seconded by Mr. Marcos. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Is Mr. Tirado here? Yes. The clerk will now swear you in, and thank you both very much for stepping up and volunteering for these positions.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm not gonna make you repeat after me or anything like that. Just when I'm done, say, I do, I swear, or I affirm, whatever you feel most comfortable with, okay?
Copy that.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and that you will endeavor to secure and maintain an honest and efficient administration of the affairs of the city of Allen Park, free from partisan distinction or control, and that you will perform the duties of DDA Authority member and Brownfield Redevelopment Authority member to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, congratulations. You just sign this and that's yours to keep.
Okay.
Same thing, you've done this a few times. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Now for the city administrator's report.
First, I'd like to start first by commending the young adults for coming up here. I have a hard time speaking from here, and I do this for the last 24 years. And it's difficult to come up and speak in front of the people, so when you come up here, I commend you for it. It is not easy. You did an excellent job once again last year as well. Thank you. Just a couple items on the report to council. The contractor for the street improvement project is Hard Rock Cement, or Hard Rock Concrete. They'll be bringing some equipment into the city on June 16th and 17th with a tentative start date of June 20th this week for the storm work and storm sewer work. And that part of the project is Park Avenue from Champaign to Angelique, from Rosedale Boulevard from Moore Road to Wick Road, and also Philomene Boulevard from Park Avenue to Colwell Avenue. And then as soon as they're done with the stormwater work, storm sewer work, they'll be back in to do the concrete, remove the concrete and then place it and hopefully be in and out in quick time fashion here. Also, water main replacement project is getting ready to get started. The contractor for that will be Brico Excavating. They're planning to start on the Winona Avenue project, and that is from Champaign Road to Ecorse Road around the first week of July. This was some really good news that we had. I received this a couple days ago, and I just want to point out here for Chief Egan. Within the Downriver Mutual Aid Task Force, the DMATF, Police Chief Chris Egan has been named as one of the 2 DMATF SWAT and CNT, the Crisis Negotiation Team committee members. That group is responsible to select the next SWAT or Crisis Negotiation Team commander when there's a vacancy. And he was also voted to be the DMATF Special Operations Coordinator. Under this role, he'll be responsible for large-scale incidents when they go from one color code to green, which I thought green was good, but green in this case is not good. It's bad. And so he'll be responsible for those large-scale incidents, and he'll also serve on the executive board that'll be help make some decisions on that group. So we want to congratulate him. I've said numerous times here, and I'll continue to say it. City of Allen Park, 28,000 residents we have here. We have an obligation to serve on in some in these roles. Tom Murray, GLWA Chief Egan, with here on the DM-ATF group with Downward Mutual Aid. I know Chief Can does. I think we have a bunch of firefighters that are serving on different groups as well. We have some police officers in different capacities. I'm hoping to be able to highlight them in this next magazine because I think it's important that residents realize that we are actively involved with our downriver community and in these special project operations that need to be manned, and we want to make sure that they are, we're doing our part as we can. Also, some good news, and he's not here to hear this, but DPS Director Murray was able to save the city about $18,000 by sharing service with the city of Taylor. We had a need to get hydroseed, grass seed growing at the new DPS facility. Come to find out, City of Taylor has a hydroseed machine, and they were able to send the machine over and some manpower. All we had to do was pay for the supplies, which were about $4,300. In return, we're going to be sending over some manpower and the stump grinder. They have a little bit of a need for that, so we thought that was a pretty fair exchange, and we're very happy. And kind of similar to how my hair grows on the top of my head. Now, on the sides on the top, it's got just a little bit of haze growing over there on the grass right now. So hopefully this nice cool weather and some rain we had, not too much rain, will help get that grass growing there. But hopefully we'll have a full grass there soon, and in hopes of a future project there. Maybe a dog park, I don't know. Say that in the background. And then just real quick congratulations to 3 firefighters. June 4th was a busy day 10 years ago and 15 years. Grand Peace Fire Department, 15 years on June 4th. Ryan Croft, also with the fire department, 10 years on June 4th. And Anthony McCarry, with the fire department, 10 years on June 4th. There was another, when I went through the list, there was actually 2 other people on June 4th as well. And so I'm not too sure what the reasoning was for that day, but it was, there was one that has 12 years as well. So congratulations to them. That is everything I have.
May I have a motion to file the administrator's report?
Motion.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Lally, seconded by Mr. Valerius. Any questions or comments?
Good job.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And we come to the public comment section of tonight's meeting. Members of the audience may come up and speak. You have a time limit of 4 minutes. All we ask is that you give us your name and the street on which you live. We do not want to have your exact address, just the street.
Good evening, Nancy Nick, Pinecrest Avenue. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I'm actually up here for the historical. We just wanted to give you some updates and also to thank some people for their help. So first of all, I don't know who took down the Christmas lights on the tree, but it's probably Matt Dorn and his crew, so thank you to them. We also have a group in Allen Park that's called the Late Bloomers. They've been around for, 40 years. They came just yesterday and they went over and above and they put more plants around our gazebo, and not around the house because we know that's going to be worked on, but over by the flagpole they put red, white, and blue. So they did a lot of work, so I wanted to thank them. Also Jim Powell, who's the husband of one of our commissioners, he has been working diligently last year and this year. He goes and he trims the lilac bushes, he pulls the weeds, he just kind of helps maintain the premises. And then just the other day, I received a really nice plaque and from John and Diane Petrie. Years ago, I don't know if you remember, President Reagan, he wasn't president at the time, it was 2 months before he became president, came to our city and had a barbecue. So their family, one of their family members passed away, they got a hold of me, and they gave us all of their family pictures and everything from that barbecue, and a really nice plaque of the newspaper article. So that's all framed, so they gave it to us to put in and we will be sending them a thank you. Also, too, we received that $5,000 grant. We did purchase a showcase that will be coming here to City Hall, so we will be putting some of these artifacts in there so that the residents and everybody can see that. Last but not least, Tom, and I don't know if you're here, you were going to come tonight. Is Tom here? Tom, come on up. Come on. I'm going to put you on the spot. So this gentleman, never met before, hi Tom, he called me up, and he is the owner of Downriver Quality Painting here in Allen Park. And he just recently came, he power washed the gazebo, he painted it, so he used his talents, he paid for all the supplies and his time. So I wanted him to come, and so we could say thank you to him, and this is from the historical.
Well, thank you kindly. I really
Here it is. Thank you very much. So, no, thank you, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mayor, Council, if I may, real quick, hold 1 second. Just a quick update on the, as they mentioned about the grant. I still have not heard anything from Wayne County on the formal grant. We still have the $104,000 grant to do some exterior improvements to the structure, which will include sandblasting and interior painting. But we are hearing some word, I've just not got an official word, that we are expected to get an additional $200,000 for the house, for a total of $300,000. I'm just waiting for that formal approval to come in. It was being presented to commission, I think in committee, and then it'll go for formal vote, so I'm hoping soon. But we are heading in the right direction still.
Very good.
Sorry for the interruption. Good news.
Forward to wearing my dancing shoes.
Always good.
Good evening. My name is Lanita Martin. I live on Outer Drive, and since you brought up storm work, I just wanted to show you, I'm sure you're aware of what Lake Outer Drive looks like when it rains very hard for a short amount of time. So this is a video in front of my house. That's Outer Drive. Outer Drive is Southfield. So hopefully our area will be included in that, because I've seen people ride across my grass instead of just turning around and not going through Outer Drive, and it's a mess. My second thing is I'm here as a small business owner that lives in Allen Park. A majority of my work is done in Metro Detroit, but what we've seen is that in Downriver, there's a need for our mothers, single mothers. Through the pandemic, we've seen many single mothers in this area come to the pregnancy clinic down on Allen Road, and they're asking for additional resources. They do a lot of great work as far as giving out diapers, formula, donations, but there is a component that is needed to keep the young ladies, such as maybe they need to be referenced to some type of vocational training, or perhaps even get assistance with housing. We have a lot of young ladies that are coming up here from Ohio to Allen Park to escape domestic violence, and they need assistance. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but the Pregnancy Center is a nonprofit. So they function purely off of donations. So what my business desires to do is to partner with them as a consultant and a liaison to make sure these young women get the services they need, whether it's services with the Department of Human and Health Services, whether it's services with job training, housing, any type of mental health assistance, cognitive issues. So I'm just here to get some insight and maybe access to some different avenues to help these young ladies that come through the Downriver area. Because what we're seeing is that, as a person that was born and raised in Detroit, there are a ton of programs in Detroit, but I think sometimes the Downriver community, we get forgotten because we're considered a suburb, but we still have a lot of young women, single mothers, and we've seen that increase with the pandemic, that are struggling, who really need some resources and some referrals, and a lot of them just don't know how to do it, or they don't have the wherewithal to even know where to start. Thank you.
The concern on regarding Outer Drive is actually a Wayne County issue. That's Wayne County thoroughfare. We can notify Wayne County of that issue. There's flooding issues over there. I think I know the mayor sent something over today regarding some shrubbery that need to be trimmed in the median and some other stuff I think was on there. So I think that she's also made note that the turnarounds were not paved last time by Wayne County. They only did the roadway itself.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, to the body, to the Chair. My name is Adrian Tanone. I'm a small business owner, founding director of customer service for the City of Detroit. Our first nighttime mayor where I protected thousands and championed thousands of jobs and small businesses. I'm running for Congress in the 13th District, and I just came here to introduce myself. I have a lot of memories over the years of Allen Park, and I would be honored to partner. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Grazie.
Hi, my name's Pat Shearer. I live on Harrison Avenue, and I think I mentioned this a year ago when I was here for this event, but the new recycling and the new bulk removal is just fantastic. I mean, I can't say enough, and I'm certain it costs more money, but the benefit is really, really helps as a homeowner. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love to just talk about a couple quick announcements, maybe not as a resident as much as a police chief, but our honor guard is going to be, I don't want to steal Mr. Lally thunder, but they're having a Memorial Day service, and our honor guard is going to be there for that. I just want to remind everybody, we don't have a Memorial Day parade, maybe next year, but our guys will be there with that. We're looking at having 2 interns start, and I see one of my good friends from Trenton Police Department, where I was an auxiliary there for 5 years. So you never know who's going to mentor you and where it could go to. But we have 2 very good Allen Park residents that are going to be interns with us shortly. And lastly, I just wanted to tell you, again, Allen Park, our police department's vision is Allen Park where all can live safely and without fear, protected by a police department with the highest ethical and professional standards. So prison club, everyone else, you need to know our officers are going to treat you with respect. They're going to protect you with everything we can, and just want to thank everybody for that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mrs. Mayor, members of the council, leadership, Allen Park. My name is Walter Epps, and I am candidate for Wayne County Sheriff. And again, I just wanted to come down and introduce myself to everyone and the great citizens of Allen Park. Walter Epps, candidate for Wayne County Sheriff. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Ray McGusson Quant. Hopefully I can get through this. I want to thank our police department for the job they do. But for the citizens who do not know, today at 12:15, in a small town in Texas, an 18-year-old person walked in and shot and killed 14 children in an elementary school. 14. He also shot a teacher. We need to do something. We as citizens, we as parents, we as students need to look on social media, look at the people you are dealing with, and if you think there's a problem, please contact the police department. This hatred has to stop. I can't understand why this is happening. We need to make sure that our students are protected. I don't know what we can do as a city. I know this, some people might say this is not the place to say it. I know we got a school board. I took my daughter, my granddaughter, after the problem over in Wyandotte, and I helped her get up there and talk. She was petrified when that incident happened. We need to do something here. I don't know what we can do, but we really gotta look at it. 14 children. And that's only one shooting this year. This has to stop. I want to thank you very much for listening. Some of you might think, why am I up here? But it has to end. So have a great day. Stay safe. Go home, grab your children, and give them a hug. Thank you.
We will now close the public comment section and move on to our consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of purchasing actions, claims, and accounts in the payroll report, and a license and permit for Intercity Baptist Church annual fireworks display on June 26, 2022, pending final approval from fire, and I believe that we received that during our work session. With that in mind, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius, seconded by Mr. Schlatt.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Consent agenda has been approved. Now we move on to resolutions. First resolution being to approve the festivities committee to serve beer and wine at the 2022 Street Fair held on August 5th and 6th, pending the conditions and final approval from the police chief. May I have a motion?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Lally,
Second.
second by Mr. Blevins. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion's been approved. Resolution authorizing the issuance of Michigan Transportation Fund Bond Series 2022. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Marcos,
Second.
second by Mr. Lloyd. Lally, I'm sorry. Comments or questions? I'd like to review what this is again, please.
Introduce Ron Liscombe. He's the City of Ballon Park's bond counsel attorney for Miller Canfield. We have two bonds before you. The first one will be for a Michigan Transportation Fund bonds. That'll be to cover the bond for rebuilding of Reek Road from Champaign to Southfield, and I'm sorry, let me start again. That'll be for Rosedale from Champaign to Southfield Road, and Reek Road from Goddard Road to Wick Road. I'll let Ron go through a couple of highlights for each one of those.
Certainly. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. My name is Ron Liscombe. I'm a partner with Miller Canfield Law Firm. What you have before you is a resolution to approve the issuance of Michigan Transportation Fund bonds, which are payable primarily from the city's receipt of Act 51 road monies that you receive annually from the state each year. You are authorizing the issuance of up to $12 million in MTF bonds at a maximum interest rate of 7%, although we expect that to come in much lower, and a maximum maturity of up to 30 years. You are delegating the authority to several city officials to finalize the issuance of the sale of the bonds pursuant to either a public competitive sale or a private negotiated sale with a bank. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Council members, any questions?
So just to be clear, this is just authorizing administration to be able to have the flexibility to be able to get the best deal that we can for the city. And we're expecting this by the beginning of July, correct?
Beginning to mid-July,
Okay.
yes.
What did you say about Goddard and what now?
Yeah, so the project area will be this was the road portion. This project will be Reek Road from Goddard Road to Wick Road.
Okay.
So it's just short of a mile. It's probably about 5,000 lineal feet. that is also about the same, just about 5,000 linear feet as well.
And this has been discussed before, and as many of you know, with Rosedale, there was a situation there where everything met the standards of the state at that time, and then they found out that something they said was all right to put in the mix of concrete wasn't, and so it just eats away at the concrete. And if we did not do this with the bond, it would take 9 or 10 years to.
Yeah, between the two, I mean, through the chair, between the two, you're looking at, the way we do the projects is a pay-as-you-go, and we're able to do usually around 1,000 lineal feet. That is Rosedale right now. Rosedale from Moore to Wick is 1,000 lineal feet. Park Avenue is probably another 600 lineal feet, and then I think Philomene is probably in the 900 lineal feet. So you're talking maybe about 2,500 lineal feet per year. So you'd be at least 4 years of doing nothing else except for those two roads, or longer, and more likely longer, because we usually try to filter in other roads throughout the city. And this is the best way to be able to get those done at one fell swoop, and still leave us money to go and still do those other roads around the city like we are able to now, just not as many of them. I always reminded each construction season by Pat Page that when we first started off this, we always did 3 or 4 roads, and I think we only did 2 one year, 2 or 3, and she reminds me of that. But unfortunately, costs keep going up, and that's why you're seeing a little bit different on how we're having to proceed here. Construction costs are not going any cheaper at this rate either.
I think my last recollection, somebody told me it cost $1 million for 1 mile of 1 lane of road. That was last year.
Right, and that's a lane mile, and a lot of our roads that we've been doing lately are 2 lanes or more.
Any further questions on resolution 2? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried. Resolution 3, authorizing the issuance of 2022 capital improvement bonds. May I have a motion?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Lloyd,
Support.
supported by Mr. Schleck.
Yes, thank you. Once again, you have a resolution in front of you to authorize the issuance of the city's capital improvement bonds. What you're doing is pledging the city's limited tax full faith and credit for that. And basically, you would be paying the bond debt service out of the existing taxing and general revenues of the city. You are authorizing up to $3.5 million, again, at a max interest rate of 7% and a max maturity of 30 years. Although we expect the projects to be issued actually over a 15-year period. This is for a series of water system improvements that are going to be done concurrently with the road improvements.
Just asking to make sure we don't need roll call votes.
Don't need roll, are you?
Well, do we need a 2/3 for this, or no?
No, don't need 2/3. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we don't go through and then come back.
Yeah. In the bond resolution, though, we do have a place you can just, if it was unanimous, you can just list everyone who voted for. Yeah.
And that's, I assume it would be, so I would do that. If there wasn't, I'd ask for a roll call.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Want to elaborate?
Yeah, this portion of the project is for a water main replacement. It'll be for Reek Road. Given the length of Reek and the age of Reek Road water main, it's approximately, I think, 90 years old. It is not close to the roadway, but any time you're dealing with a construction project like this and you're going to pound the concrete to break it up, you're going to jar the ground. And I'm not usually a betting man, but I would bet on this one within a year or 2, you will be out there repairing that water main and tearing up that brand new concrete. That is not something when we started taking on the road improvement program back in 2015-16, that we wanted to look at all the water mains, and as we've gone through, so that's usually been the case. They've been tied together. This one I would anticipate the roadway for Rosedale will be first, and that'll be during the construction season of 2023. Reek will follow either in late 2023 or early 2024, and the water main will probably be late 2022 to early 2023, and possibly throughout 2023. It's just a big project.
Yeah, and that water main is how old?
That was a 90-year-old water main or so. Kind of a newer main. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of our age is in that 70 to 90-year range.
Through the mayor, while they're doing this work, are they gonna have in a neighborhood for the, working on a water main? You gotta have something to supply the citizens at the same time when you're working on a water main.
Yeah, this project would be pretty much no different than the water mains we already currently do. They'll go in and we'll leave the existing water main in place, put the new one in, and then they'll test it to make sure everything's good, and then they'll tap it.
They'll tuck it back in, okay.
No, I don't anticipate, and Tom's not here, I don't think Bill and both are at training right now. I do not anticipate the need to have temporary water sources for those residents.
Thank you.
Because they did this, the water main, when they did it up by Rosedale, that street, side streets, they had another hose coming out of with the water to go to the families.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, I don't anticipate a need for that.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is carried.
Thank you.
Resolution 4, thank you, Mr. Lisno. Resolution 4, to approve the professional services of HVAC preventative maintenance agreement with K&S Mechanical Services for 9 municipal buildings for a total annual cost of $24,980. You have a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lloyd,
Second.
second by Mr. Lally. Questions, comments?
Yeah, I'd like to know, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to know, this preventive maintenance, do we do this how many years you have a contract with us? Every year?
Through the chair.
Yes.
This will be an annual agreement with K&S. K&S is located here in Allen Park. They're here on Philomene, just on the other side of Roosevelt. And the owner also lives here in the city. We've worked with them to go through this process and feel comfortable that they are the right contractor for this. Similar to what we did with the roofs.
Right.
Holbrook Roofing, with Greg Holbrook. We don't do HVAC systems very well. That's not our expertise.
Okay.
Roofs were not our expertise. Obviously, over the course of 40 years, roofs definitely were not our expertise, if you remember the old city hall. So when we followed up with to do the roofs for all the buildings, this was the next natural piece. In the circumstances here, this building is 4 years old. We had to have them come in. K&S did some maintenance on the facility for us. The filters had not been changed. I think it's kind of a little bit, I apologize, it's out of sight, out of mind, and it's just not on our radar. This will help keep those items on the radar. Those filters were full of debris. They'd been sucked into the system and fortunately did not cause any additional damage, but there was still about $5,000 worth of repairs that had to be made. And this is a new facility. We just can't take that chance. We're addressing this on a regular basis. This will be 2 times a year. They'll come out, they'll change filters, they'll change belts. They're also going to be able to give a look to make sure everything's working as it's supposed to be working, which is something that our expertise, we just don't have. I'm going to look back to Parks and Rec. I know that they have changed filters on their facility for a number of years, but they're not experts in this area to know if something needs to be repaired or fixed at that point until it's too late, and then we'll react. So this is going to be preventative.
And should make our HVAC operate more efficiently.
Absolutely, and we've made a big investment in the facilities, and I think that's why we need to make sure we continue here. This is a $25,000 investment for each year. A portion of it will be coming out of the general fund, a portion of it come out of the water because it's some water facilities here. I highly recommend it. If I had Matt come up here, I think he would also do that same recommendation. As we've both been working on this, I got to give credit more to Matt because he's been bird dogging this a lot more for me, and I do appreciate that.
So there's 9 municipal buildings that they care of, not just one, right?
No, it'll be for the City Hall Police Department, the Community Center, the Charlie Brown Building, the Fire Station DPS, the old DPS facility, the library, the College Street Pump Station, the detention basin, the DPS facility, and also the DDA lease building. We included them in there because that is not part of their contract. They are responsible to change those filters themselves.
I was counting and I only counted 8, so I missed one, so I want to know which one I missed.
The court has,
I missed the one which said about the, you said something right here somewhere.
yeah,
Pump.
the Couch Street Pump Station.
Right, that's it.
Yeah, we also included initially the court, but we took the court out because they already have a contract with another contractor already.
So that's not too bad, because, $24,000 divided by 9, that's not bad at all. I think it's a good deal. You did pretty good on that one, buddy.
Well, a little preventive maintenance goes a long way, and
Yeah.
Mark just mentioned that we had to spend $5,000 to repair equipment on this new building roof, and that's already 1/5 of the premium, so money well spent.
And I asked the contractor, I said, would this have helped? And yeah, it came back capitalization, absolutely. The way that the system works, oil can get in there, causing all kinds of issues. It would be a bad situation for new equipment.
Very good.
There's no further questions. I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Resolution 5 is to approve the DTE master agreement for municipal street lighting for 14 street lights installed at the DPS facility for a net cost of $23,973. I have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lally, seconded by Mr. Valerius. Comments or questions?
So, where's the money come from for this? I know there's a bunch of numbers here, but where did it really come from?
Let me, if I may, through the chair, give just a little brief overview, and I'll answer Councilman Lally question there. So this is a project to install lighting at the DPS facility on our drive. This will be lighting coming up the roadway that enters the facility, the parking lot, and also illuminate behind some buildings that are the 2 outbuildings that are closest out the drive. It'll illuminate the impound lot for the police department impound lot, and also the salt facility and storage area. If you count I had to go back and count numerous times because you actually find 15 lights listed on the drawing, but there's one of them is actually an existing light that they're tapping in. Light number 9 is being tapped into for the power. Some will be underground. The parking lot and the roadway lights will be underground fed. The lights for the impound lot and the storage dome will be overhead fed. There'll be a mixture of Cobra luminaries and a couple LED flood luminaries, which all of them may be LED. The cost was put into the budget. Bandit actually budgeted $40,000 for this project, and the total now will be at about $23,973. So a little bit less than $16,000 savings off of the initial cost there. This is coming out of the 592 fund, which is the water and sewer fund. We do a mixture of expenses over there. A number of expenses get charged back to the DPS facility or to the DPS 101 general fund. In this case, the water fund will be taking on these costs for us.
So, the money that doesn't come out of the fund that they built their new facility, does it? This is over and above the money in fund?
Yeah, we in order to save some costs during the construction time, lighting was removed from the project.
Okay. But it does look nice over there. Did a good job.
There's no further questions. I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Resolution to approve the fire department to purchase a commercial-grade Garland G60 6R 24RR 60-inch range with a double oven at a cost of $7,505. In the absence of our chief and deputy chief, our city administrator. However, I ask for a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Blevins.
Second.
Second by Mr. Schlack. I had them all coming from the right side this time.
That's
We have
okay.
to balance this out.
Not a problem.
We'll have this explained now by our city administrator.
Yeah, when I found that the deputy chief was also not going to be able to be here, I told him, I said, I'll take care of this. You're asking for an apartment-sized stove now. I don't need a 60-inch stove. A little 24-inch will be fine, but they actually need a 60-inch. The model that they're replacing was actually from the original 1969. It has been held together and worked on. I think they opened the oven up with a pair of vice grips. I think they also turned the gas on with the pliers as well. But the bigger problem is that it's now spewing carbon monoxide.
Oh.
It's nice to have in a fire station. Which is not good at a fire station.
Fire station.
Yes, so they're in need of a new piece of equipment. They're looking at coming from Globe Equipment. There's also, I think it's the same brand that they had at a cost of $7,500. I know Deputy Chief Riley worked hard on this because when we first heard that they were gonna put it on the agenda, they were at $10,000, and he was able to get it down to $7,500.
That's good.
Either that or just went with a high number in the first place to let me know what it was, and I praise him now, so. But definitely a need for this. They utilize it for the open houses and the pancake breakfast, and amongst other things, and it is used on a daily basis.
I like that range. I hope you wish you'd go over to my house. That'd be cool. Let me tell you something. When this range is connected, I'll volunteer to make spaghetti sauce over there and buy everybody dinner.
Sounds
That
good.
includes the council and the citizens.
We have them on record.
Yeah.
It will be recorded in the minutes.
That's right.
There was
Go right ahead.
There was a picture of their existing stove. It has definitely served better days.
We just got a new one at the KFC. That's beautiful. Like that.
If there's, are there any other questions, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And now we come to other business, where we will have the first and second reading of a proposed ordinance. May I ask for a motion to authorize the first and second reading of proposed ordinance number 02-2022?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lloyd. Are there any questions or discussion on the matter?
Just real quickly, Mayor, the ordinance is replacing a current ordinance that we have. I believe it was brought to Councilman Valerius' attention by a citizen, and then also through a conversation with Mr. Baker, that our old ordinance was just for seagulls and pigeons. And so it was essentially unenforceable. And so basically all we're saying is that if you're gonna feed the birds, if you're gonna feed the pigeons, do it from a feeder at a 4-foot height, just so that we're not also feeding, other critters as well.
Yes.
We went through this pretty extensively at the Legal Affairs Committee.
Yes, one of the hardest working committees on council.
Wait a minute now.
One of the hardest.
Don't single people out now.
May I ask for a vote, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We will now ask the city attorney to do the first and second reading.
Good evening. First reading of proposed ordinance 02-2022, an ordinance of the City of Allen Park Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 6, Animals, Article 1, in general, by the repeal of Section 6-21, feeding of pigeons and seagulls prohibited, and the readoption of Section 6-21 to prohibit the feeding of wild animals and birds, except the feeding of birds and squirrels by means of an elevated feeder. Second reading of proposed ordinance 02-2022, an ordinance of the City of Allen Park Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 6, Animals, Article 1, in general, by the repeal of Section 6-21, feeding of pigeons and seagulls prohibited, and the readoption of Section 6-21 to prohibit the feeding of wild animals and birds, except the feeding of birds and squirrels by means of an elevated feeder. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we come to council comments. This evening, we start with Councilman Schlack.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank all the citizens and candidates that came up to approach us today, and then to thank the Prism Club for joining us. The city has designated June as Pride Month. It's important that as Allen Parkers, as well as Americans, we treat all people as equals, no matter who they are, who they love, then we will all be more free. As former member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, Harvey Mark once said, "It takes no compromising to give people their rights. It takes no money to respect the individual. It takes no survey to remove repressions." I also want to take time to congratulate the class of 2022. I know it might be a little early, but this past weekend at my son's baptism, right as we were finishing the baptism, they were piling in. I was like, oh, it's that time of year, so I had to feel the need to mention it. So I want to congratulate, starting Cabrini High School, Intercity Baptist School, Melvindale High School, Southgate Anderson High School, and of course, Allen Park High School. Congratulations on your graduation, or soon-to-be graduation, and best wishes for your next adventure. I'm sure it won't be the last time that I will be able to acknowledge many of you graduates. With that, I want to acknowledge that last week was National Police Week. It's a week that pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty and the safety and protection of others. And this goes hand in hand with Mr. McGusson that came up today to discuss the horrific school shooting that happened in Texas. That something more needs to be done, not just in Texas, but for our country. The time, as I said before, is not then, it's now. Prayers are not enough. I can't say that enough. And I probably wear an orange tie every year to honor that during the month of, I think it's February, if I'm not mistaken. With that, I also want to thank our newest city appointees, Jessica Tremonti and Daniel Tirado. I said your name wrong. I deeply apologize. And a special thank you to the resigning member of the DDA, Tracy Frussel, for his years of service as both a chairman and member of the board of directors. He served many years in that capacity. I'm sure his knowledge and experience will surely be missed. Finally, this coming Monday is Memorial Day. As I've said last year and the year before, I will share with you the importance of that day. It's a day not to say thank you, our fellow veterans, those who made the ultimate sacrifice. It's a very important day as a veteran because it's a day we remember those heroes who gave everything, the men and women serving next to them, and the people they left at home. It is the memory that we as a nation dedicate this day specifically to these heroes. So I ask you to please keep this in mind on Monday. If you're fortunate to have the day off, or even if you're not, but as long as you're out there enjoying the day, or even if you enjoy work, with your friends and families around the grill, maybe even drinking a cold beer or soda, just remember this importance of this. Freedom isn't free. It was earned with blood, courage, and selfless commitment. Mayor, I yield.
Mr. Blevins.
Before the meeting, I was like, I was gonna have like a list of like a CVS receipt of how long I was gonna talk today, but and then the lovely ordinance. The whole time I'm thinking of Mary Poppins with "Feed the Birds" and all that stuff. So, but it's just the whole time. But first off, I just want to say thank you to our department heads who come to our meetings. That I know it's later than you might want to go home and hang out with the family and also, but I just appreciate that you guys are here to help answer questions, and just want to give you all a shout out. I know it was just mentioned about the islands on like Outer Drive and like things that need to get cut. I know I usually go for a drive around the city to see things, and I was going to point that out with to Wayne County, and then I want to say it's state or Wayne County over here that that needs to get cut as well. And I want to say thank you to the residents that are keeping up with their lawns, because we do have ordinances of keeping grass short. Because I've been going to different cities and like abandoned houses and stuff like that, and how tall it was, and we don't want to move backwards, we want to move forward with that. I've noticed going to work every day, I think we need to talk to whoever's in charge of our railroad systems, that the bridge on Southfield crumbling, and I just fear that one day something happens with that. But if you look at it on Southfield, that one is just, it's getting worse and worse every day. And I encourage residents, our state reps, everyone to talk to Wayne County, to call 188 road crew, to try to get Wayne County to fix the Allen and E-Course intersection. It's one of our busy intersections in the city, and it's just crumbling up with potholes. And I encourage people to keep reporting that, so every time people report these things, quicker it's noticed and gets done. For instance, the turning lane on Pelham and E-Course, Wick Road and Allen was fixed as well. It's the more you voice, especially in local government, it makes a big impact. With Memorial Day coming up, please make sure you go to at 12 o'clock on Outer Drive, the ceremony, as well as waving your American flag at your house. I am so proud to the Prism Club coming last year and this year, and I hope years to come. When I was in high school, they didn't have that, and they had a diversity club. I'm not sure if they still have that club, but it means a lot for someone who is part of the LGBTQ group, and I do represent. Some people may think I have just one agenda up here, but I do represent the whole city, and they are part of the city, and I have always will fight for that group as well. That's why I have this flag up here, and I do respect everyone's differences on things, but I will always will fight for everyone's rights and showing that this city is a safe place for everyone. And for someone who came out only 4 years ago, again, it is remarkable at your guys' age for doing that, and the courage, and it just shows that we're moving forward, and I can't say enough. Again, you all always, it's just remarkable. I want to say thank you to the late bloomers group for the flowers at the historical house. I did drive by today, and fantastic job. Same with Tom with the gazebo. Those are things that just make the city, like volunteering, making the city a beautiful place to live, work, and play. And I encourage everyone to also join a committee, get involved. I know Mr. Marcos always says for people to come and speak, and it's fantastic how many came today. And I hope it continues. But I just want to say that, and I hope everyone has a safe Memorial Day next week, and God bless, and I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Marcos.
I just echo everything that these guys have said. Thanks to commissioners, thanks to Tracy Fressel, thanks to everybody who comes and speaks up here. You may not always hear anything back or get a response from us, but believe me, we are listening. We hear you, we are aware of this, and the more that we get people up here to, as Mr. Blevins said, the more you come up and say it, the more we can do to help you. There's a lot of things that are out of our control, obviously. We're a small group, but the more people come, the more people speak up, the better chance we have of getting things done. So I want to thank all of you for coming, thank all of you for speaking. Have a safe Memorial weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Mr. Lally.
Thank you. I want to thank all the citizens that came in today. Really appreciate it, especially the Prison Club. Congratulations. And you're doing a heck of a job. Keep up the good work. I'm going to say something about Memorial Day. Memorial Day is coming up on the 30th. And I urge all the veterans in Allen Park to be there, to salute and remember our brother veterans that passed away and gave it all for the freedom that we have today. Thank you very much. And hopefully, if you would like to come there, it'll be May the 30th at 12 noon. Please try to make it. I would really appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to thank all the guys that went for, had the committees here. I know both of those people, I believe. Jessica Tremonti and Brownfield, and Daniel Andre Tirado. He's got a business in Allen Park. The insurance guy. He's a very good guy. I like him. Congratulations. We got some good people up there. I want to congratulate the Chief of Police for receiving his award. He very well deserves it. And I want to congratulate all the fire people that had their 10 years. And I want to remember that. I don't want to forget this. I just got this as a quote, and it says to me, "Only two defining forces have ever offered to die for you: Jesus Christ and the American soldiers. One died for your soul, the other for your freedom." So, God bless all you, all the veterans and all the people in the United States. This is the best country I ever lived and the best country in the world. I volunteered to go in the service. I didn't stay back. And I still volunteer today if I need me, but I won't be in the front line. I'll be in the back. But anyway, I just want to mention one more thing. We're going to have a steak cookout the Knights of Columbus. It's a community event. It's tomorrow night at Champaign, 3774 Knights of Columbus. Starts at 5. The steaks cost about $15. The price of meat went up, so we had to raise the price. So you had baked potato, a little dessert, salad, excellent salad, and whatever you guys like to drink. It's all there. So welcome, everybody. Good night, and God bless.
Tony. Daniel.
So I think whenever we have events that happened in Texas and events earlier in the week that happened in Buffalo, I feel like we feel it as a nation. We feel that tragedy, that collective trauma all together, and it reminds us of the experiences that we've had, the people that we've lost, the challenges that we've overcome. But I come to this meeting and I look out on this audience, and honestly, today's meeting, in ways that I could not have expected or planned for, I am filled with a tremendous amount of hope. I'm filled with a tremendous amount of hope because I look out on the people in this room and I see a room full of people that are trying to make their community better. And to these members of the Prism Club, all 4 of the individuals that got up here, they every single one of them was in my class. Not saying that was, it's a one-to-one ratio or anything. But I've seen them grow up as people. I've seen them form their consciousness as young adults, and I could not be prouder of them for advocating for the things that they believe in and coming and trying to make their community better. To our commissioners, to Jessica Tremonti, who I've known very well for a very long time, who not only contributes as a commissioner but as a coach and is thoroughly invested in this community, and to Mr. Tirado, who I'm sure is equally as invested in his community. To Miss Martin, who just today, just never seen her before, but getting up, saw a problem in her community, and is getting up and saying something and trying to make that better. Not just saying something's better, but she's committing her time, her talent, and her energies to try to fill that need within her community. And finally, to all of the graduates that I see in this room. Even you, Logan. To all of our graduates that I see in this room, and I see a group of people that I've got a chance to know over the past 4 years. Some of you guys longer, and I feel confident that you guys have the knowledge and the skills to go out and I know that this is something that gets thrown around a lot, but to make this world a better place. You guys have that ability, you have that skills, and that doesn't mean necessarily getting up in front of the UN and passing proposals or at the U.S. House of Representatives. Sometimes that's just seeing that problem in your community, seeing a way that you can make the place that you are a better place for the people that you love. There's a quote, I'm not sure who it's attributed to, but leadership is planting trees for which you will never sit under the shade. And even though today was a very difficult day, because we do feel that trauma, we do feel that the pains whenever we see those events, wayward individuals, but I am filled with a tremendous amount of hope, and for that I am incredibly thankful for the people in this room. So thank you very much, and I yield.
Thank you. Mr. Valerius.
Dan always steals my thunder. I sit next to him. We're fellow teachers. This time of year is always something special. You know, as a teacher of high school students for almost 19 years, it's always, graduation's always bittersweet, you know, because we've seen these students grow so much in what can be considered a short amount of time. But yet, you know, like Dan said, it's seeing the students, the young people here, all of you coming up and talking. I'm inspired by just about every student that I've ever had in my classroom in one way or another. So the bittersweet part of it is we part ways at graduation, but then we relish in the joy of watching you enter adulthood and move forward in your lives. And we take pride in that, definitely. Watching you become adults, watching you enter the workforce, watching you move on to school, college, trade school, vocational programs, whatever. But as a teacher, I know I take tremendous pride in that. This weekend, I actually attended a former student's wedding, probably like the 10th wedding I've attended of a former student. Just getting an invitation to that as a teacher just reinforces my love for what I do in education. And sharing those memories is just something really special. So with the graduates and everything else, with our prison club here coming up forward, you inspire me. You will continue to inspire me, and I'm sure you inspire all of us. For everyone else that came out tonight, you know, thanks. You know, but I appreciate everyone attending, the department heads for all you do, my fellow council members up here. Our time and investment in this city means a lot to me. You know, I love Allen Park, resident for a long time. Mr. McGusson coming up, I'd be foolish to say that your words didn't touch a tone with me as well with everyone else. We could sense the sadness and the pain. These incidents happen more than they ever should. And like you said, change needs to be made. Hopefully change will be made. With that, I thank you for everyone's time, and I yield.
Thank you.
I hate to do it, but I gotta do it, Tony, real quick, but it's for a good reason. I completely forgot about Miss McMaster and Miss Keene, who are the sponsors for the Prism Club and give so much of their time and their energy to these young people. And I am so proud that they are my colleagues. So for a very good reason, I would do that too.
Mr. Mizzi, would you like to make?
Just thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep this brief because everyone's said many, many things. Usually I try and write a few things out, but I did it tonight because I figured many things will be covered. Just for the, I think I did this last year, I think I forgot this year, but for my fellow councilmen, we do, I send a letter from myself and on your behalf to every student who is graduating from any school located in Allen Park, and to every Allen Park resident who is graduating from Melvindale or Southgate School District. And it just occurred to me, however, as I was driving through the neighborhoods, that there's a few signs out from people who do not go to any of these schools, but they live in Allen Park and they go to places like Divine Child, et cetera, et cetera. And so for them, I will post my letter on Facebook so that we cover every graduating senior in Allen Park. And we're very happy and glad for all of them. I am very proud and honored to have been able to do for the second year in a row a proclamation recognizing the LGBTQ community. And I am very happy that the majority of our residents are accepting, and I hope that continues. I cannot imagine what my colleague had to go through during his school years, and I would hope that things are improved and continue to improve. With regard to Wayne County, again, please do report potholes, et cetera. The more voices they hear, the better. I have begun communicating once again and have sent several emails, one with regard to the intersection at Roosevelt, Ecorse, and Allen, which apparently has been spoken to them about for 4 years. There have been some changes in the department, so we may get some movement on that. And I just today sent an email with regard to the median on Outer Drive so that we don't have branches hanging out into the lanes. I have a follow-up system, and I don't let things go. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get that fixed. I agree with the admonitions for people to attend meetings, but I will say this, there's probably a gentleman sitting up here that I did not see at meetings, but he paid attention. These meetings are recorded. You don't have to sit and wait for them to come up on your TV, and some of you may no longer have the two that broadcast publicly. These are on YouTube, so you can watch them any time of the day or night. You can fast forward through parts you are not interested in, and you can repeat parts that you really want to get a little more information on. So there really isn't any excuse for people to say, I don't know what's going on in my community, because it's there for you to view 24/7. So even if you don't come to meetings, you should be making yourselves aware. I will not speak as to what happened in Texas today because I go through too many emotions. I have similar reactions when I hear of that someone else being killed by a drunk driver. I think anyone who knows me knows my feelings on all of these. I am not opposed to gun ownership. I am not opposed to the Second Amendment. I am opposed to not taking proper precautions and people screaming that their rights are being violated because they don't have easy access. I'm tired of it. And so I would encourage each and every one of you to write not only to your congressmen and senators, but to any others, and particularly the ones who seem to be opposed to making any changes. And with that, I thank you all for coming tonight. God bless you. Have a safe Memorial Day, and I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Lally.
Support.
Supported by Mr. Blevins. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned at 7:21.